1920s, dealers across the country had one request in common. They wanted a lower seating position for the rider. Harley Davidson motorcycles at the time, like other bikes of the era, sported a loop frame that forced the rider to ride high on the bike like on a bicycle. Lowering the rider's position required an entirely new frame. In 1925, Harley Davidson engineers cracked the problem with a new streamlined frame that swept down in the back rather than shooting straight across. The new design had the added benefit of opening up room for a larger capacity fuel tank. The resulting design was a landmark styling change that influenced the entire industry. But the decade ended with a crash as the stock market plummeted and the motorcycle business took a significant hit. During the Great Depression, Harley Davidson Motor Company was forced to reduce most of its workforce to part-time. With no demand for new models, the company focused on lower-cost styling innovations like elaborate and beautiful Art Deco paint jobs. Take a look at the 1933 VLD model to your left. Compare the dramatic vermilion and black Art Deco paint job on this model to the more sedate paint of the 1925. The realities of the Depression led to a new emphasis on glamour, style, and recreational touring, and those that could traded their fear of a bleak economy for one of these striking beauties. Now turn around. For the 1936 model year, the company continued to respond to the economic crisis with a bold move. They introduced an entirely new bike with a new engine design. The 1936 EL was the first to sport the knucklehead engine. The company feared the bike wouldn't be well received, but were quickly proven wrong. Many of the design elements of the 1936 EL model, like the teardrop-shaped gas tank, remain an essential part of Harley Davidson styling to this day. Louis Netz, Vice President and Director of Styling.
The essence of that shape and that cross-section has really remained the same, and it is a signature, and it also becomes the location of where we carry our name, which is maybe the most important graphic element in the world, is the Harley Davidson name on our fuel tank.
In the later half of the 20th century, whether you were having service done on your car, getting an express letter, a delivery from your butcher or the druggist, there was a good chance there was a Harley Davidson utility vehicle involved. Above you, you'll see many examples of these vehicles in active duty. One of Harley Davidson's most successful was the Serva-car, like the 1939 Jeep Dodge you see in front of you.
Harley, like other motorcycle companies, developed Serva-cars mostly for police and commercial use because they don't lend themselves to storage capability. And in the case of the Stanton Motors 1939 Serva-car, can be towed behind a car, making it even more useful so that the automotive technician can get back to the dealership on something.
The example before you is an unaltered original. Bill Jackson is manager of the archives at Harley Davidson.
We always call it as written, but it's a Serva-car that was actually out there in the field and very heavily used. And people can see that when they look at the bike, including the wear on the sides of the gas tank, on the paint. I mean, it truly looks like an artifact that somebody got a lot of use out of.
Turn around now and walk over to the police motorcycle on the platform. Harley Davidson started police fleet sales in 1908 and began developing a special relationship with police departments nationwide. By 1925, over 2,500 local police and sheriff departments were using Harley Davidson motorcycles in their fight against crime. And with the exploding number of cars on the road, traffic accidents and fatalities ran rampant. The need for traffic enforcement became serious, and police departments turned to mounted officers to curb the problem.
Training motorcycle dispatch riders for the U.S. Army, one of the toughest, most grueling courses in the service. After 6 weeks of basic instruction, they send them on cross-country trips like this. A terrific test for men and machines. Now they're real veterans of the saddle. In mountain country, a woman's motorcycle corps takes to the field. Trained as dispatch riders, they carry...
Very well.